My position as the spokesperson was to evade the question or sleaze around some way or give what was an acceptable answer or something that I believed at the time.
Please welcome Mr. Mike Rinder.
Because Scientology is perceived and conceived by Scientologists as being the salvation for mankind, you can have people that lie with a very straight face if they believe that what they are doing is protecting the Church of Scientology. I was now sort of at the end of my rope. It was a real moment of clarity for me. I don't want to be doing this anymore. This is nuts. That was actually the last thing that I did before I left. Every living person that is a blood relative of mine disconnected from me, just like that, done. And never spoken to again. My mother never knew that she had a new grandson, nothing. And it is a very, very powerful mechanism of controlling people. And the way that that is used in particular, this film is coming out. Scientologists will be told, don't watch this film. Oh my God, it's terrible. It's the attacks, it's the enemies, it's like the New World Order is coming to get us and they're banging down the doors. And in the face of Alex Gibney, he's the leader of the charge. Mm-hmm. The church today doesn't really resemble the church that I knew when I was growing up. People are not able to think for themselves, where they really are being suppressed, where they're being abused. They live an unhappy life. It's not a happy existence at all. Scientology has a means or a way of getting people to believe that they have the answers to everything, that your very future depends upon your activities and commitment to Scientology and remaining a dedicated and committed member of the church. And to stray from it is something that will result in very dire consequences. I feel like if people understand and know that I am telling the truth, then that's really all I can do.
Senator Nick Xenophon asked to meet Mike Rinder in the hope he could provide information about the inner workings of Scientology, which now appear to include following and filming federal senators. You don't want to tell me your name?
Well, I'm not here to be interviewed.
No, well, I'm not here to be filmed by you either, but that's okay. Cool.
And the second thing that I find very objectionable, actually there's three, but the second big category of thing is the focus on money. You know, the church has become what I call the vulture culture. It is focused entirely on taking money from people and collecting money from people, and the idea of helping anyone with Scientology has taken a back seat to how much money can be gotten from them. And then I guess the third thing is the physical abuse of people, particularly at the hands of David Miscavige.
What do you mean, beating up people?
Beating up people.
Thank you so much, and thank you all for inviting me. I feel a little like the sacrificial lamb here, but we'll see if I can overcome some of these arguments that are being made. Matthew, I really appreciate your words because effectively you have made my argument.
And when you come to realize that you've done a lot of things in your life that aren't what you should have been doing, I felt an obligation to do something to change that and perhaps prevent things happening to other people in the future. And I have a very vested interest. I raised two children they were born into Scientology just as I was. They are raised in Scientology and they are estranged from me. They will not communicate to me in any way. I'm what's called a suppressive person in Scientology, so I want to change that so nobody else ever has to have the experience of having their children turn against them based on what they've been taught by a group. And also the subject of the PR of Scientology is paramount.
Yes.
What matters most to Scientology is how they are perceived by the world, and if there is something that can be swept under the rug in order to not reflect badly on Scientology, it gets swept under the rug.
There was no end. It wasn't like you were sentenced for a week or sentenced for a month or until X, Y, and Z happens. It was just you went in there and then sort of tried to figure out what you were supposed to do in order to qualify to get out.
And they never once got, and they will never get, from the Church of Scientology, "We are sorry. We are sorry."
Yeah.
That happened.
It's like, what the f were we part of? Nobody has brought to the attention of the world the pain, the real pain that people have suffered in Scientology and made it understandable and relatable and changed the picture of how the world perceives Scientology and what should be done about it. Over 3 years, we've spoken to hundreds of victims of Scientology. We've tried to collect them up as much as we could to be stories that were suitable for television, but there is so much that couldn't be covered. There is so much more that needs to be done.